Good evening, Captain Johnson. Good evening, cadets. My name is Cadet Edmiston. I'll be giving this briefing on the Judge Advocate Officer career path within the Air Force. So, I will first go over what is a Judge Advocate Officer. Second, the education requirements and paths that could lead you to become a Judge Advocate Officer. And third, what it's like to be an active duty Judge Advocate Officer for the Air Force. So first off, a Judge Advocate Officer is commonly referred to as a JAG for short, just because it's a long title. But they are attorneys of law. The Air Force has a huge need for legal services, whether that be government, international, operational, even civilian laws, and the JAG offers these services. It's their opportunity to do that for our country. But what is required education-wise for the Judge Advocate Officer is dependent on whether you are already part of the military, as well as what education you already have. So if you are not part of the military quite yet, you can already be a lawyer, or you can be going through law school in order to apply to the JAG Accession Board. If you're going through law school, you just need at least 2/3 of your credits accomplished. You don't need to have your bar quite finished. But after you apply, and you give them your location, a Judge Advocate will meet with you for like a professional interview. They'll go over your character, your education goals, why you want to join the Air Force, and they give this information to the Accession Board, and they create a list of possible candidates to send to the General Advocate General, and he either approves or disapproves those people who are on the list. If you are approved, you are then designated as a Judge Advocate. They send you to go get medically certified, and then they also send you through Officer Training School, the 8-week course. A little different because you are actually already commissioned, unlike some other officers going through there. And then after those 8 weeks, there's another 9 weeks of JAG school. So it's another semester of law school, but its emphasis is on military law. After that is accomplished, then you are a Judge Advocate, a JAG within the JAG Corps. If you are already a part of the military and decide you want to become a JAG, they actually have programs to help you through law school. So if you aren't a part of it, they don't have any scholarships to fund you. But if you are an officer, an active duty one, then you can apply for the FLEP. So it's a funded law education program, and it's competitive, so they will competitively select you to go to law school with the Air Force funding. But you can also take that route. Living as a JAG officer, the Air Force places a huge emphasis on continued education. Just because the Air Force needs a lot of specific talents or skills for a lot of myriad different situations. So, if you want to go and study criminal law, if you want to study environmental law, if you want to study government contracting or commercial law, they have continued law education programs for that. And it could be any kind of law that you could probably think of. The Air Force has need for it, just because they're everywhere in the world. And depending on the skills that you garner, they will send you to a certain base. They'll deploy you there. So you have the benefits of living on base, which has medical facilities, schools, community centers available for you and your family. And then they also allow you experience. A lot of the people who actually go through the JAG program get more court trial experience than those who are in civilian firms. So a lot of people actually want to become the Air Force for that alone, just because of that experience, the continued education, and then your salary and benefits are just like any other officer. Because you're already commissioned during the officer training school, you actually become an active duty member as an O2, as lieutenant, first lieutenant, and then are promoted to captain after 6 months. So based on your rank, how long have you been an active duty member, and when you were commissioned is what makes up your salary. So in summary, I went over what is a JAG, I went over the education and possible ways that you could become a JAG, and lastly, I went over what it's like to be an active duty JAG within the Air Force. And this concludes my briefing.